What up, campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is Betting with the Bag. Happy Friday, June 4th to all of you. And my 14-game MLB winning streak is over. It's over. We came very close to 15. A wild pitch by Taijuan Walker in the bottom of the fifth allowed the fourth run with 2 out in the bottom of the fifth. And the under 3.5 first 5 in Padres Mets was a loser. And there you have it. But it is Belmont Stakes week. And you guys saw, when I came onto this show a week ago today, I was down just under 13 units and I'd fallen apart in MLB. So it's back where we started. We are now sitting yesterday after a 2-1 day. We are sitting 132 wins, 115 losses. We're up 0.99 units. Our ROI 0.40%. Average line minus 112. So we're in a situation where we can now move comfortably into positive units. But in no way are we comfortable at all being up 0.99 units. Matty Ice returned. Our hero returned with the taint play of the day, Casher. And I'm extremely excited about Belmont tomorrow. Extremely excited about Belmont. We will be on all day for the first race, all through the entire card. And we'll hammer Santa Anita and Golden Gate after that. We start at 11:20 a.m. and I am pumped. And Jose is back in business on the ones and twos, producing the show back from Houston. No worse for wear, no black eyes. And he got to see his beloved Red Sox cash yesterday. And Martin Perez. There's Boston Nick in the house. Peanut, ready to go. Jacksonville Zoe. Razor Sharp picks in the house. I got the honor of being on Razor's show Wednesday night and Thursday night this week. It was extremely enjoyable. Nice winning night Wednesday night. Last night, not so much. But overall, in the 2 nights, a winning night. And that's all that's important. There's Michael Irvalina, says some great hockey last night. There'll be some great hockey today. And Dennis Garcia says sports instead of all-day horse show. Boo. You're right. This could have been an all-day horse show. But tomorrow, Dennis. Tomorrow, my man. Okay? Tomorrow. There's Hustle Wilson doing just that, getting his hustle on. Matty Ice in the house. Brandon Lugo, Puzzler. Glenn Elliott, man, said cap the crap on today's card. Well, let's get after it. Thank you for the kind words. There is Jose back in action. Glenn Elliott, man. Slatsy says 139 NHL. I already have Habs ticket in my pocket at plus 100. We'll double up on them today. Minus 105. Dog 5-0 last 5 in series. And they're still a dog. Yeah, and the suspension was 4. I gave the over-under on the suspension at 3.5. It's a pretty tight line. A pretty tight line. There's Ixnizzle, says catch on Rockies. First to score. Hope everyone smacked it up. Happy Friday. Our guy, Ixnizzle, Ohio's finest. Fat win coming to us from Australia. Brian Watson. What's Dennis saying? Flagstaff wins today. I may not play tomorrow. I don't think Flagstaff's going to win today, but I love how emotional Dennis gets. There's Brian Watson, serious business. Jessica Easton in the house, coming to us live from the West Coast. Platinum Paul, Sharpie. Here we go. 28-13 on the Dirty K prop today. Urias over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 120. Says Braves have few at-bats versus Urias. And their top 10 in strikeouts are left on pitching. Urias number 2, MLB and K to ball ratio. And Braves K over 26%, walk 6%, 8+ Ks. It's dirty. Over 6.5. Okay, let me copy and paste that and get that over the Urias spot here. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us, Sharpie. Here we go. Willie Vegas says, how about a live show just for the late pick for today at Belmont? Look, as soon as this show's over, I go into a corner in the dark, and I study horses nonstop until showtime tomorrow. Let's pull this up. So this is for the Braves spot. Let's get this here so we can discuss it. Where is the Braves game? Sorry, let me move up here. Braves game where? Show your face. There we go. Dodgers, Braves, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Pop that in. All right. Okay. It is time to get to work. There's Nilo ready to go. Gerald Jones, Paco Healy, OG, low bagger. There's Jeff Joseph says, call anytime to discuss tomorrow's card. Solid card today. Connections really like Estilo Talentoso today in the bed of roses. Will Kieran all wagers looking to run down Chubb Wagon. That's from our Jeff Joseph, a spectacular thoroughbred capper and OG low bagger. Turnsy tailed the Red Sox -1.5. And Sharpie says, my kid graduates high school today, so super busy. I'll be listening in. Okay, much love, Sharpie. Thank you for the hard work. Clint Fraser is 4-4 with a double and 2 homers versus Eovaldi lifetime, so we'll look there. And Spenny Penny Bombs. Jets first period -0.5 at +190. Jets money line regulation at +130. Ooh, Vegas first period alternate puck line at +185. Ooh, Spenny Penny Bombs going for it. There's Tony Hill, Jacksonville Zoe, and Spenny says Chubb Wagon will scratch today, by the way, Jeff Joseph. So that may change your love of Talentoso. So take that in. All right, let's go. Talk sports with JT in the house. He put out a great video. If those of you are not following him on Twitter, you should definitely follow him. He put out a great breakdown yesterday of why he was on the Royals, and the Royals cashed for him and for Matty Ice. Jerry Beatty says Marlins are Blue Jays in Oakland, both smash spots here. Glenn Alemans is former Padre Luke Casey pitching for the Mets tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun. But we're a week away from Belmont Stakes. It is Friday. It is the beginning of the weekend. I did have my 14-game MLB winning streak snap, but let's start a new one right now. Let's get to work. Thank you guys all so. Oh no! Dennis Garcia says Swiss skydiver scratching tomorrow. Damn. That sucks. No Swiss skydiver. That's too bad. I really wanted to see a run. All right, let's get to work. We start at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Boston Red Sox at the New York Yankees. A glorious rivalry in sports. Red Sox are 33-23, 17-10 on the road at the Yankees, 31-26, 17-13 at home. We're in the Bronx, baby. Yankee Stadium, 71 Fahrenheit, light rain, 6 miles per hour out to left center. We have Nathan Eovaldi going up against a bullpen day for the Yankees, being led by Michael King. Nathan Eovaldi, 6-2, 4.01 ERA, 1.17 whip, 60 2/3, 58 Ks, 14 walks, 1 home run. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, allowed 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and a 3-1 win at the Marlins. In Michael King's last start as an opener, his only start as an opener, he did not look good. It was a 6-2 loss to Detroit. He went 2 1/3, allowed 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 2 Ks. He's had a good season, 2.86 ERA, 1.32 whip, 20 Ks in 22 innings, but 10 walks is not the kind of K to walk ratio that you want out of somebody coming out of your bullpen. The Red Sox smash righties. The Yankees do not. Red Sox are hitting 251, 759 OPS versus righties. Yankees are hitting 222, 684 OPS versus righties. Paco Healy says definitely jumping on the horse show off tomorrow, and we'll be thirsty. I love it. Von Polo says, how do all the LeBron James lovers feel? And Billy Brisbane says, can't wait for Saturday. I love it, Billy. All right. And Glenn Mann says 26% of showers in the Bronx. And Jeff Joseph says, my play in the Belmont, essential quality is my play. But believe no one agenda sitting on a huge effort will not leave off my tickets. Yeah, I know no one agenda is the wise guy horse, but I'm going to end up keeping him off. And I guess I just won't bet that much on the race with fear that Ron Bauer or non agenda will hurt me. All right, so let's go into market moves and see where the cash is. And so one thing that has happened is as we've spent more time looking exactly where the money is, and that's something that North Ender was pushing us to do. As soon as we started doing that, really focusing on where the money is going, my ROI is skyrocketed. It's not all to do with that, but certainly part of the puzzle. Let's first look at where the market has held this spot. So the Yankees, Red Sox first 5 opened at 5.5 and is now at 5 with the Red Sox favored. We go to full game money lines and totals, and we have this total opening up at 10. It's dropped a full run down to 9. And the Yankees are pretty solid full game favorites. Red Sox are first 5 favorites. You don't see that very often. Yankees open up at minus 105. They're now minus 114. So we have a 9-cent move over at Pinnacle. Let's go over to see where the cash is. In this Yankees-Red Sox spot, we have just money line action here. We don't know what the spread is. Just 1,100 tickets in. We have 76% of the tickets on the Red Sox, 56% of the money on the Red Sox, and the market is moving to the Yankees. The total is slightly 52% of the tickets and 54% of the cash towards the over. Okay, with that Turnsy setting, I'm on the Red Sox. Let's go to pitcher versus batter info and then decide if we're going to pull the trigger. Here we go. Against Eovaldi, they're hitting 255 with a 702 OPS, and as Matty Ice pointed out, it is Clint Frazier doing the damage, 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and a homer. And then against Michael King, 5 for 15 with a double and 2 jacks, 333 with a 1.133 OPS. Nilo says Red Sox are 4-0 in Eovaldi's last 4 road starts. Puzzler says I like Boston and the first 5 under. Jose says Red Sox are in the middle of their most important stretch of the year. Had to win yesterday after the media and fans started to pressure them, and I think they win today, but perhaps I am biased. Well, I don't feel like I have an edge in this game to put my money on. So if you look at where are the big advantages in this spot, I don't even know if Eovaldi is an advantage because the Yankees bullpen is so strong. So certainly it's a first inning advantage. So, a possibility would be to look at the Red Sox to score first, but I'd be very surprised if it's not available yet. But if that wasn't like really juiced. So you have a Yankees bullpen that's much better than the Red Sox bullpen. And you have the Red Sox hit righties much harder than the Yankees do. And it's not going to help the Yankees to put in the lefty because Red Sox hit lefties too. So I do not feel like there is a legitimate edge for me that I can trust in this spot. And there will be no move for me in Red Sox Yankees. Okay, we move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Indians 30-24, 16-12 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles, 19-37, 8-19 at home. We're in Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Prince of the City says he will never be the Jordan. And Mr. Wiener, our guy, Jordan Wiener, cashed on the taint play of the day. I like it. Little Wiener taint combination. Cobra Sports says that may be a live spot if the Sox go up early, then get a line on New York Yankees. I agree. This might be a live spot. But what I've been doing, I forget who said it. And it kind of annoyed me when they said it. But whatever. I'm allowed to be fucking sensitive at times. But somebody said that clearly my ROI is much higher when I don't hammer the board. When I just pick 3 or 4 bets. And as that winning streak started growing, I started doing that. And, what's the most important thing is to win. Get my ass out of Parkdale. So I think that my quantity of action is going to start cutting down. Let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Indians, Baltimore Orioles. Indians 30-24, 16-12 on the road. We have these Orioles that are just 8-19 at Camden. 78 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, out to center. Hunter Engelhart in the house. Great MLB capper says take 0 runs in the first inning of the Indians O's spot. We have Giancarlos Mejia. It's a bullpen day for the Indians, and it's a very good bullpen that hasn't been quite as good over the last couple weeks, but still a very good bullpen. 2.92 ERA, 1.24 whip. They've converted 18 of 20 save opportunities. And in Mejia's last appearance, now he's only thrown 5 innings this year, 7 Ks, 1 walk, and 5 innings, hasn't allowed a run. He was pitched at home in the Jays. It was an appearance, not a start, in the 7-inning doubleheader against the Jays. They won that 6-5. He went an inning and 2/3, 1 walk, 1 K. Keegan Aiken going for these Orioles, big boy. 4.80 ERA, 1.33 whip, 15 innings, 14 Ks, 3 walks, 2 home runs. In his last start, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 2 walk, 4 Ks, and a 3-1 loss at the White Sox. I had initially thought to back the Indians here, even though the Indians hit just 216, 673 OPS versus lefties. I just thought in the bullpen day, if they can get anything on Aiken, that they're just well suited to deliver the goods here. And then I noticed an initial move to the Orioles, and that made me second guess the way I was expecting this game to bang out. The Orioles hit just 215, 647 OPS versus righties, and the Orioles bullpen that had such a great start to the year has been getting hit very hard. 4.46 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, 10 of 21. Leroy Flood says Orioles money line. Peanut says I like the over on this Baltimore. It says this Baltimore trash. And Nilo says yes, Brantford might be a spot for you. Safe and nice homes. No, I can't. Look, if I need to, if I'm able to buy a house, I have to be by a major American city, which lets me live in either two spots in Ontario, that being Niagara Falls, because I have Buffalo and Fort Erie, or Windsor. So I'll be right across the bridge from Detroit. Those are my only two options here if I can't, because I'm not going to be able to afford a home here in Toronto. But that's another thing altogether. Okay, we look where the market has moved. So the initial move was towards these Baltimore Orioles, and it scared me. Let's see what Pinnacle has done. This total opened up at 9, also went down to 8.5, and that's makes perfect sense because of how weak these offenses are. Then we go to the money line. The Orioles opened up at minus 119. They're down to minus 103. Baltimore is now the favorite at Pinnacle, which says a lot. It says so much that I'm not going to move. Prince of the City says, Jimmy, move to America. Yes, Vegas. We're in talks about Vegas. So I love America. I'd be very happy living there. Okay, so the market is moved towards these Baltimore Orioles. Let's see where the cash is here. And we have 73% of the cash on the Indians on the money line. 83% of the tickets on the Indians on the money line. And the market moving towards the Orioles. Will I ever get in the spot sort of with what like Sharpie and Razor have been doing where you see that and you say, okay, well, the move is to bet the Orioles. I should start tracking these. Maybe I'll start today. I should start tracking these spots when the market moves in one direction and the money's in the other. I'm not going to do that right now. Paco Healy says live in Henderson. Gas Station Sushi in the house. Great to see you, Gas Station Sushi. We miss you. Gas will be jumping on our show. He is in Colombia right now, and not the district of, but the country. And he will be joining us from Colombia, from Medellin. Okay. Glenn Lament says Maya and Aiken throwing darts slightly into Indians, getting better team. Hunter Engelhardt says O's are no play here. Only values on the O's. Better games tonight. There will be no move. Had there not been a market move towards the Orioles, I'd probably move on the Indians. Had this total already been at 9, what's the first 5? Let's look at this first 5 very quickly from a total perspective on the Indians game. And we have sitting at 4.5. There's been no movement. A 3-cent move to the under. I wonder if that's in play. You know, it very likely could be in play. And Sharpie is tracking at 8-2 following the money. Thank you, Jerry. Viper took the over. And Hunter Engelhardt says, haha, don't do it. Well, I will leave a question mark beside the first 5 under 4.5. All right, we move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Miami Marlins 24-31, 12-19 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates 21-34, 11-15 at home. And if we get back to our say hey play of the day from our man Jose, Marlins Pirates, freshly back from his trip to Houston to watch his beloved Red Sox play. Jose, welcome. How are you, my friend? Are you muted, or do I have mine muted?
No, I am muted. No, that's my fault. It was a good trip. Went well. 1-1 split. It was probably the best I could ask for. Shout out to my Venezuelan king, Martin Perez. I love him dearly. And for you, Jimmy, I started keeping track of something. I wanted to figure out, what kind of shit talker am I at the stands? Because I am definitely the loud away fan.
Yeah.
And I realized that I think 65% of it is words. And the other percentage is just me making noises.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of hoo-has, a lot of a lot of that. And I think the thing that annoyed the most people was standing up and clapping as loud as I could and just yelling to Martin Perez all day, Martin, all day. And he's putting up the zeros. And I got a lot of haters, but it was fun.
I like it. When I was in Vietnam, I went to a soccer game, and when our guys would get our team, our home city in the north, Haiphong, would get some, they would knock down one of our players. I would yell, "Come on!" "Come on!" like expecting the ref to. But that's very close to "Gamon," which is "thank you." So our player would get hit. I would then jump up and scream, "Thank you." And they were not. They hated me. But I was like, no, I don't. Yeah, but I mean, and people around me thought I was just this asshole. All right, you didn't come in with your bet yesterday, which would have been very helpful to your record.
I was bet on the Red Sox. I put everything on the Red Sox because I knew they were going to win. But I was a beleaguered man the next morning. I'll admit it. I was at 50% capacity. And it was just, it was a time.
Well, I find this game riveting, this Marlins Pirates game. And I mean that. I came very close to making a move on this game and held back. Let's talk about what's gone on here. First off, Pinnacle has just moved that first 5 to 4.5. So it's been at 4. We watched the market move towards the over, and it's at 4.5 now. So then we go over to full game, and we have it has moved to 8. It opened at 7.5, and it has moved to 8, slightly juiced towards the under. We have 77 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour is the wind, sideways across the diamond here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Cody Poteet, 2-1, 2.95 ERA, 0.84 whip, 21 and a third, 19 Ks, 4 walks, 2 home runs. He's looked really good. His last start was a rain-shortened game at the Red Sox where they lost 5-2, and he didn't look very good. But the Red Sox are hitting everybody right now. He went 4 and a third, and he allowed 5 earned runs. Mitch Keller is coming off his best start of the year. Now, it was at home against the Rockies, 5 innings, no runs allowed, 6 Ks, 2 walks. He's had a terrible season, 6.54 ERA, 1.69 whip. But these teams are pitiful offensively. Marlins are hitting 229, 655 OPS versus righties. Pirates are hitting 232, 650 OPS versus righties. And both bullpens are very good. Marlins 3.73 ERA, 1.16 whip. Pirates 3.97 ERA, 1.26 whip. Jose, please take it away. Where are you going on this?
So I'm going to take a David Sharp page. I'm going to rip it out of his book. I like, Jimmy, I'm a learner. I'm here. I'm learning from all these great cappers. And I'm going to ascend to another level eventually one day. That's my hopes, at least. And sure. I realized what he's doing. I looked at last 14 days, last 15 days, last month. Who's striking out the most in majors? What teams are striking out the most? And guess what, Jimmy? Number 1 on that list, Miami Marlins. Strike out 28% of the time as a team. Not what you want. They have got the worst, or they've got the 8th worst runs created plus. They've got the 10th worst BABIP. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to do a strikeout prop just like my man. I'm going to take my man, Mitch Keller, over 5.5 strikeouts, plus 112 at Bovada. Last couple starts for my man, Mitch. 5 innings, 6 Ks, no earnings against the Rockies. 5 innings, 5 earned run. No, sorry, yeah. 5 innings, 5 earned run against the Braves, 6 Ks. That's what we care about. Against the Giants, another 5-inning effort with 8 Ks. He got touched up against the Reds for 7 runs, 2 Ks. But the start before that is against the Padres with another 5K outing. I'm pretty shocked that the books would keep it at 5. It would indicate like your numbers are saying that this might be a higher scoring game, that maybe he might not be in this game a long time. But if we can get five innings from Mitch, like he seems to only give us, I think he can give us 6 Ks pretty easily.
What is the juice associated with your book?
Let me see here. I've got over 5.5 plus 112 under minus 147. So you tell me, last time we were here, you told me I was getting whitewashed and fucked. So
yes, but that was on a side. Props is a little different, and my book's not going to help on props. Let's see what I can give you on the strikeouts here. It's not. Oh yeah, here it is. Pitcher strikeouts. Yeah, I got over 5.5 at minus 110. You're getting plus 112.
Yeah, I'm getting plus 112. I'm looking at it on Bovada currently, which is pretty shocking right now.
Well, let's lock that in for you. Over 5.5 at plus 112. Mitch Keller strikeouts. I found this game interesting. Now, again, I'm only making moves on games where everything is congruent and everything correlates. And here, I'm surprised that they expect offense from these meek offenses. So, I was interested in the under, and I'm not going to move on it. Our man, Jose, Mitch Keller, over 5.5 Ks at plus 112. Go get it, Jose. Go get it. Go get it. Welcome home.
We need the win.
And much love, my man. Thank you for all the hard work you do behind the scenes, making this show look so good. Without you, I was lost yesterday. There it is. Jose's say, hey, play of the day. Mitch Keller, over 5.5 Ks. All right, let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals 23-30, 10-15 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies, 26-29, 15-10 at home at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 74 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour out to right center. Maximus Scherzer and Zach Wheeler. This is the sweetest pitching matchup on the board today, but it opened at very low at 6.5. It's moved up to 7. Wheeler and the Phillies opened up at minus 105. They're now at minus 114. Let's go to Scherzer first. 4-4, 2.34 ERA, 0.82 whip, 69 in the third, 95 Ks, 14 walks, 11 home runs allowed. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 10 Ks, and a 3-0 loss at home versus the Brewers. Zach Wheeler, 4-2, 2.52 ERA, 0.93 whip, 75 innings, 92 Ks, 16 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walk, and 14 Ks in a 5-3 loss at Tampa. Neither of these teams hit righties hard. Nationals just 241, 682 OPS. Phillies 232 with the exact same OPS at 682. The Nationals bullpen is quite a bit stronger than the Phillies bullpen. Nationals bullpen 3.98 ERA, 1.26 whip, converted 9 of 13 save opportunities. Phillies bullpen 4.68 ERA, 1.40 whip. They've converted 13 of 24 save opportunities. So let's look at that first 5 if we want to have nothing to do with the Phillies bullpen. The first 5 total opened up at 3 and was immediately bet towards the over. So 3.5s are now on the board, and Wheeler is pretty much the same favorite as he is at about minus 115 as they are full game. So Scherzer, they're hitting 214 with a 709 OPS against them. Brad Miller is 5 for 10 with a double and 3 home runs. Wild. Odubel Herrera is 15 for 43 with 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. Matt Joyce, 8 for 32 with 2 doubles and 3 home runs. Jean Segura, 5 for 17 with a home run. Rhys Hoskins, 0 for 17 against Scherzer. Against Zach Wheeler, 255 with a 675 OPS. Zimmerman, 10 for 33 with 2 home runs. Turner, 9 for 31 with a double and a home run. Prince of the City says, say it for me, Jimmy. Sure. Never bet on a Philadelphia team. Nilo says Nationals are 0-4 last 4 games versus a right-handed starter. Wyatt Chapman says Scherzer is owed one, baby. Max on record says mixed eye always screws me. Glenn Elliott, man, Scherzer giving up 3 home runs in his last 3 starts. And Matty Ice says Miller hits and total props is over a half at minus 150. Okay, so let's see where the cash is on this game. We have 62% of the tickets on Washington, 53% of the cash on Philly. 57% of the tickets and 55% of the cash on the under. And this game has moved slightly to over. I don't think that's a big enough discrepancy. I honestly I can't find an edge here that I can put money on. Razor Sharp picks Gambler's First Glance. It's a great video that Razor Sharp's putting out every day at Pub Sports Radio, and he is on the Phillies minus 110. Glenn Elliott Mann's on Nats Phillies first 5 under 3.5 at minus 108. Matty Ice Wheeler K prop over 6.5 has to be in play here. It's just at 6.5. That's crazy. How can it be at just 6.5? Let's move over to the K props here. That's just nuts to me. So Zach Wheeler's K prop is at 6.5 after coming off a 14 strikeout game. And Max Scherzer's K props at 8.5, and that's juiced to the under. The K props will definitely require some more study from me. So, I'm not just going to sit here and give out bets for fun. I can't have faith in an angle here that I can explain to you and then bet. Except that K prop, it's strange. How would, after a guy who comes off a 14K game, get listed at 6.5? Razor says Nats are 2-6 in the last 8 overall. Nats are 4-12 in the last 16 games as an underdog. Nats are 2-6 in the last 8 games on grass. There's Stu Boo in the house. And Puzzler really likes the Wheeler prop. I get it. I completely get it. But why would they have it so low? Does that not throw you for a loop? Why would it be a 6.5 after a 14K game? All right. No move for me in Nationals Philly. Thank you, Stu Boo. We did lose the streak's not alive anymore. It was 14-game winning streak snapped last night. Raymond Reddington says, which one do you guys like most, Wheeler or Keller prop? I'll let the guys who are focusing on the K props answer that. Okay, let's move on here. Next up, Houston Astros at Toronto Blue Jays. So my first instinct when I saw Greinke going up against Ryu is that, wow, what a sneaky over this could be, with the Astros hitting 282, 778 OPS first lefties, smashing them, and the Jays hitting 261, 776 OPS first righties, smashing them, and then this total moves to the under. And the initial market moves, I never believe are a public thing. I always think they're the big bets coming in from syndicates. Again, I don't have any proof of any of that, but that's what I always feel. And so when I saw this total move towards the under, it gave me pause. Now, the 4.5 has gone slightly to the over. 4-cent move towards the first 5 over 4.5. And full game here has gone from, now it's moving to the over. Wow. Okay, so we've had a distinct move here in the Houston Jays game. Interesting. So the very first move that happened last night around midnight was a move towards the under. There was a 7-cent move towards the under. And then money started pouring in on the over. And then at 7 in the morning, money came back in on the under. So the under went down to even money. The under went down to plus 104 under 8.5. And then back to minus 115, minus 114. And look at the under even went to 8 at 8:30 this morning. So I saw the under getting steamed, and now money coming back in on the over. The under is now at 8.5 at even money. Very, very, very interesting. Wow. Puzzler says Jays crushed Greinke lately. Glenn Elliott, man, looking at the Ryu over 5.5 Ks. MMA Locker, my man Mills is on that over 5.5 Ks. Wyatt Chapman says Greinke's another old timer who's owed me a psychiatrist just to adjust his meds. He's pitching lights out, baby. Okay, so there's Johnny K in the house. And Sharpie says you can't take in the Astros game yesterday. No Correa in the lineup yesterday. He's their hottest hitter at the moment. Can't look at yesterday's game and capping the Astros versus left-handed pitching. Dennis Garcia liking the Jays on the -1 line. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper and then go into the batter versus pitcher stats. So we're in Salem Field in Buffalo, New York. We have the Astros 11-12 on the road, and the Jays just 12-11 at home. a mix between Dunedin and Buffalo. Greinke 5-2, 3.67 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 73 and 2/3, 57 Ks, 15 walks, and 9 home runs. In his last start, he went 8 innings. It was very good. 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 7-4 win at home over the Padres. And then Hyunjin Ryu 5-2, 2.62 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 58 and a third, 58 Ks, 8 walks, 6 home runs. He's been everything that we hoped he would be when we signed him as a free agent out of Chavez Ravine. In his last start, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 home runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and 11 win at the Indians in a 7-inning doubleheader. With Ryu, it seems like even when he doesn't have it that day, he battles. He just battles. He gets that 5 to 6 innings, even when he doesn't have it. And when he does have it, he's lights out. Astros bullpen is weak. 4.41 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. They're susceptible. They've converted 11 of 21 save opportunities. The Jays bullpen, 3.45 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. They've converted 11 of 18 save opportunities. Glenn Elliott, man, likes the Jays in the under. Gregory Simmons likes the under. The weather is not really conducive for offense, but it's not bad. Let's go to baseball data here and see what we're dealing with. Against Greinke, they're hitting 264 with a 757 OPS, and only 2 Astros batters have seen Ryu. 143, 393 OPS. Wow. Very interesting. Let's take a look at where the cash is. We have 57% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the Toronto Blue Jays. So let's go over the money line. We've seen the Jays open up at minus 125. Initially, they go down to minus 118. Then they go all the way up to minus 132 at about 9 this morning. And now they're sitting at minus 127, which is 2 cents of movement towards them overall. Now let's look at this total. This total is even. 49% of the tickets on the over, 54% of the cash on the over. Wow. So you have an Astros team that just destroys lefties. Haven't seen Hyunjin Ryu. You have a Jays squad that's raking. Both squads are raking. You have a Jays squad with a much better bullpen. And if the Astros didn't smash lefties, I'd be all over the Jays here. Sharpie says 70% of the money on the Jays, yet only moved 2 cents. We have 2,421 tickets calculated. And yes, 77% of the money line, and it's only moved 2 cents. 57% of the tickets. Gregory Simmons says maybe first 5 over. Again, what I've been sticking to here is to have everything kind of line up. And I keep using that word congruent. And I use the word incongruent. You need it to line up. And I can't, with the way Astros are hitting lefties, say just because they haven't seen Hyunjin Ryu that he's going to get. Now, if I had a free bet, I'd take the Jays -1. But I don't know if I can do it. There's our guy Piker in the house. OG low bagger, poker addicted 79. There's North Ender in the house. Great to see you, North Ender. So I'm not moving on this game. I can't move on the game. All right, we move on to 7:20 p.m. Eastern, and we get to the Dirty K prop of the day from our man Sharpie. It is the LA Dodgers at Atlanta Braves, and he's on Urias at over 6.5 Ks at plus 120. He says that the Braves have had a few at-bats versus Urias and are top 10 in strikeout percentage versus left-handed pitching. Urias is number 2 in MLB in K to ball ratio, and Braves strike out over 26% of the time and walk 6% of the time. 8+ Ks is dirty. WTF says the Ticas say hola. Well, please return the sorry, the Ticas just doing for a loop. Okay. All right. Glenn Lyman says LA Dodgers plus 83 best run differential in MLB. Thank you, DC. Respect. Okay, let's get back to work here. Sorry for a little bit. Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, 81 Fahrenheit, overcast, 4 miles per hour, out to left. Julio Urias, 7-2, 3.61 ERA, 0.95 whip, 75 Ks, 9 walks, 8 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 11 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 1 home run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and 11-6 loss at home versus the Giants. Going up against Ian Anderson, 4-2, 3.27 ERA, 1.25 whip, 55 innings, 59 Ks, 22 walks, 6 home runs. So my initial look here, and Ian Anderson coming off getting hit hard at the Mets, 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 home runs, 1 walk, 6 K, was that it's a similar situation to what the game we just talked about. You have the Dodgers who smash righties, 251, 775 OPS, and the Braves smash lefties, 245, 759 OPS. You have a Braves bullpen that's vulnerable, 4.79 ERA, 1.43 whip, converted 10 of 18 save opportunities, and you have a much improved Dodgers bullpen, 3.68 ERA, 1.27 whip, converted 18 of 33 save opportunities. So my initial thought was, when I was going over this game last night, was, well, the over has got to be in play. And this over went up to 9 and is now back down to 8.5. Let me make sure that is yes. Okay, so this opens at 8.5 at 4:16 p.m. It moves to 9 at 10:23 p.m. It stays at 9 until 40 minutes ago and moves back to 8.5. Wow, that is very, very interesting market movement there. And from a money line perspective, Dodgers opened up at -120. They're now -127. Wow. Glenn Elliott Mann says Dodgers, A's, Blue Jays, Phillies all didn't play yesterday while their opponents did. Mills says his Braves are going to beat the other team that wears blue. Jerry Beatty says sneaky under here. Bloods W, we don't know what the taint is. You don't rush brilliance. You don't rush greatness. Sharpie says Urias has only got touched when he's faced the team back-to-back like San Francisco last week. So Urias got touched, 6 earned runs, and 11-6 loss at home versus the Giants. Puzzler leans under. Well, let's see where the money is because I lean over. So we have 40% of the tickets on Atlanta and 54% of the cash. So it's pretty even there. And then on the total, we have 50% of the tickets on the over and 49% of the cash on the over. Wow. Gabe says over. I agree. I think this is real nice weather for offense, 81 Fahrenheit, 4 miles per hour to left. These teams rake. Can you get bounce back performances from these two pitchers? Possibly. Are these teams capable of putting up big innings? Yes. Sharpie says this may be a little postseason atmosphere. We've knocked Braves out 2 years in a row. They want this series. Glenn Elliott says Ian Anderson will be facing the Dodgers for the first time since allowing 2 runs, 5 hits over 3 innings in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series. Let's go. That's a great stuff coming in from the chat today. Feels like we're working really nicely together here to get paid. They're 0 for 8 against Urias. 0 for 8. So very small sample size, and they haven't seen Anderson. Jessica Easton liking the over. Talk Sports with JT says usually when Dodgers have a big scoring game, they come back with a low scoring game. Glenn Elliott Man says Braves 6-7 versus left-handed starters. Polo this, Polo that took the Braves to get the most hits at +170. Huh. Well, there's no more information for me to break down. But I think there's going to be runs here. All right, I'm not going to sit here and hum and haw, but I think there are going to be runs in this game. And I'm very close to moving on. You know what? I am going to move on it. The money's 50-50, Sharpie, on the total. Absolutely 50-50. The most 50-50. It's 50-50 tickets, 51.49 cash. And I'm very close to moving on the over 8.5 in the Braves game. We'll talk it more. Glenn Man says on paper, I have it more of a 4-3 game. All right, red alert. Red alert. The taint play of the day is in. Los Angeles Angels first 5 minus a half. The taint, I repeat, the taint play of the day is in. Let's copy and paste that right now and get that in the Angels spot. We are a few games away from capping it. Oh, wait, how is it? Sorry. That is the late game, 9:38 p.m. Eastern. I love that look. It wasn't offered to me, Maddie. I was going to bet that before I got onto the show, and they weren't giving me the alternative run line on that game. It makes perfect sense to me. Let's see if they're offering it to me now. They are not. It is not available for me, the alternative run line yet on the Angels game. That bet makes a ton of sense to me. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Okay. I am going to... I guess the only thing holding me back is that these two pitchers are coming off really bad starts. So I'm close to pulling the trigger on the over 8.5. All right, let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays at Texas Rangers. I was very interested in this market coming out. It didn't come out till late. I was interested in the under at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. I could not get information on the roof. Sharpie says Bellinger bat woke up last game. I like the over here too. Both top 10 OPS for opposing pitcher and Braves trash Ben. I agree. Nate Schellhammer says I lean under as well. I bet over 8.5 Blue Jays, Astros, and Cards minus 140. And there's Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Dutch Boy Fresh is one of the stars of our NBA Pub Hub show, 4 p.m. Eastern, every day of the week here on Pub Sports Radio. It's a great, great show. All right, let's talk about this spot. I expect the Rangers roof to be closed. Glenn Elliott Man says Texas home after an 0-9 road trip, lost 9 straight. Okay, Josh Fleming, 5-3, 2.98 ERA, 1.04 whip, 45 in the third, 28 Ks, 12 walks, 5 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 2/3, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 home runs, 0 walks, 5 Ks, and a 6-2 win at home versus the Phillies. Kyle Gibson on the other side, 3-0, 2.24 ERA, 1.01 whip, 16 a third, 48 Ks, 19 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, he looked good in an extra inning win at home versus the Astros. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 0 home runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Rays versus righties, just 230. I shouldn't say just, because the league as a whole is not hitting righties as hard as in the past. 234, 734 OPS. Rangers versus lefties, 236, 667 OPS. Rays bullpen is very good. 3.38 ERA, 1.2 on whip. They've converted 17 and 25 save opportunities. The Rangers bullpen, 4.26 ERA, 1.37 whip. They've converted 12 of 19 save opportunities. Let's move over to baseball data. Against Fleming, they're 3 for 14 with a homer. It's Nate Lau, 214 and a 741 OPS. And against Gibson, 247, 713 OPS. Glenn Man says Gibson makes his return from an injured list after sustaining a groin injury on May 25th. Matty Ice says, I've not pulled the trigger, but all the stars seem to be aligned for the Rangers tonight. But Glenn Man says, hard to not like the Rays at minus 123. He says, Matty Ice says, call me crazy, but I have a heavy lean towards Texas here. Yeah, I have to think that if we believe that Gibson is going to have a nice start, then I would think that the over is in play. The under is in play. This full game under opened as a pick'em. There's been a 2-cent move towards the under 8. But I also am not sure if I want the Rangers bullpen to be involved. But the Rangers bullpen isn't that bad, so I'm not against that full game. Let's see what the first 5 is. The first 5 total here is at 4, and it's juiced to the over. But it has come back 4 cents. It was over 4 at minus 121. Now it's over 4 at minus 117. Glenn Elliott Man says Texans didn't back from a long road trip, didn't work for the Cardinals last night. Glenn Elliott Man says, I do like Gibson, though, leaning under. Well, why don't we see where the cash is here? And we have 84% of the tickets on Tampa and 90% of the cash on Tampa. Now, that's just with 1,200 tickets in. We have 51% of the money on the over, 65% of the cash on the over. Christopher Comte says, roof open in Texas. I can't get I've been trying to get that information. And it's a very hard information. I don't know why they're such dicks about it, but it's not warm. The first pitch is 77 Fahrenheit, so they tend to like to close this thing. Puzzler says you could get LA minus a half, first 4.5 at plus 110 if you don't mind missing that half an inning. Yeah, I want that last half of an inning, Puzzler. But those 4.5s can be quite appealing at times. So, Glenn Elliott Man says Texas actually 12-9 versus left-handed starters. I think that the under is definitely in play here. And the thing is, with that 4, I mean, you need 3 runs to be scored in the first 5. The bullpens are strong enough that I think I can easily move this to a full game and use the 8. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Because if 4 runs are scored in the first 5 innings and you push that first 5, I still think that full game under 8 is in play. Glenn Elliott Man says was leaning under, but a 4 first 5 and an 8 is not great. Gregory Simmons says with you on the under. All right, I'm going to pull the trigger on the full game under 8 here in Rays Rangers. That was my plan. I'm also going to pull the trigger on that over 8.5 in the Braves Dodgers game. I've only made one bet so far today, and I wanted all day to bet the Tigers first 5, and I was able to give it out on Rob Mike Richards at plus 132 because that was available at Sports Interaction. They sponsor Mike's show. And then Bet365 opened it late at plus 105. Slatsy says Gibson coming off a groin injury. I don't know if I actually mind that much. I understand how important the bottom half is, but if he gets the rest, he's someone that has dealt before with some arm fatigue. So I don't know if I mind him being off that much. Okay, full game under 8. Full game under 8 at Rays Rangers. Okay, let's move into the only bet I've made. And, Sharpie knows what I'm going to say here. I'm on Freddie Peralta. I'm very high on Freddie Peralta. And the Diamondbacks don't hit righties. Now, the Brewers don't hit righties. And I haven't seen that much of Matt Peacock to sit here and be confident about it. But I believe in Freddie Peralta. Diamondbacks at Brewers. Diamondbacks are 20-38, 9-22 on the road. Brewers are 30-26, 14-15 at home. Now, this was expensive. This cost me for a first 5 minus a half, minus 135. And I actually thought it was going to be more expensive than that. And because the Brewers are minus 200 first 5. So I did think I thought there'd be a minus 140, and I was giving my limit at minus 135, and it got in there. It's still at minus 135 here. Jason Albert, what's happening, my man? Thank you for joining us. Ron Lofton said, I'm right back on the Brewers run line against my Diamondbacks. Glenn Elliott Man says, Arizona Diamondbacks over 7 in a row. I expect the roof to be open, but it might not be because there is 15-mile-per-hour winds, but it is 84 Fahrenheit at first pitch in Milwaukee. In Wisconsin. Matt Peacock, 2-1, 4.50 ERA, 1.07 whip, 28 innings, 21 Ks, 3 walks, 5 home runs. He's been good. And he was good at home versus Cardinals in his last start. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 0 walks, 6 Ks, and a 9-2 win. Freddie Peralta is whom I'm backing. Now, both pitchers just went up against teams that struggle against righties. Freddie Peralta, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, it was a solo shot, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and a 4-1 win at the Nationals. Diamondbacks just 232, 679, as I said, against righties. Brewers worst, 207, 645 OPS. The Brewers are the worst team in the league against righties. Both bullpens are bad, so I don't want to trust either of the bullpens. And Sharpie says I'd move Peralta up to a number 2, closing in a number 1 on his rankings. Number 2 baseball and strike. He's number 2 in baseball and strikeouts per 9 this year. Nice job, Ronnie Lofton. So I'm on the Brewers first 5. Let's go quickly to the baseball data and see what we are dealing with here. Brewers have never seen Peacock. That concerns me. And the Diamondbacks don't have a hit off of Peralta. They're 0 for 11. So if we think that it's very possible that Peacock has a nice start, and I really believe in Peralta, then I have to add the first 5 under 4.5 into my action here, and I'm going to do just that. So I'm already on the first 5 minus a half and minus 135. I'm now adding the first 5 under 4.5. And what's that going to be at? If that's not too juiced, then I will happily take it. Oh, shit. It's moved to 4 at my book. Of course it has. Okay, I can't bet that. It's 4.5 everywhere else. Oh, no. Bet Online's moved it to 4. Bodog's moved it to 4. That's frustrating. Okay, I'm not taking that at 4. 4 has to be a win. It can't be a push. Although I don't hate it at 4. Oh, that's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Sharpie says Peacock is a dumpster fire. It won't go more than 3 innings. I've been a fade Peacock type of guy the last few years. Okay. Matty Ice got 4.5. Okay, well, I can't bet it. So I'm just on that first 5 minus half, minus 135. If it does happen to go back to 4.5, I mean, Peacock gets barreled up. I mean, 5 home runs in 20 innings, but 21 Ks, 3 walks is a pretty nice run walk ratio. Jorge Gonzalez's Arizona pitching is horrible, almost 5 ERA. Peacock's at 4.5. There's at least 4+ runs there for sure, even if Milwaukee doesn't hit the ball well against righties. I mean, Jorge, it's not that Milwaukee doesn't bat well against righties. They're the worst in the entire league. They're barely over the Mendoza line, and they've never seen Peacock. If I was getting a 4.5 first 5, I'd be on the under. All right. But you're right. And the Diamondbacks bullpen's atrocious. So both bullpens are bad. Okay, let's move on. This is the game that really bothered me. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers and Chicago White Sox. Just shock and awe that Bet365 would put this out at plus 105. Just shocked. Unbelievable. It was at plus 140 when the first 5 came out for Spencer Turnbull. And the fact, I mean, just extremely frustrating. And that's why Bet365 is so successful. Because they never put them, they're never vulnerable. And this just really, really angered me. All right. 23-33 of the Detroit Tigers, 10-18 on the road. The Chicago White Sox, 34-22, 21-9 at home. We cashed the double up, first 5 under 4, full game under 8 in Mize Lynn last night. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois, 82 Fahrenheit, clear, 13 miles per hour, out to left. Nilo says minus 150 now for the White Sox. Isn't that crazy that the White Sox would be minus 150 on the game, but 25 cents worse in the first 5? Crazy. Turnbull 4-2, 2.93 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, 46 innings, 40 Ks, 12 walks, 1 home run. Now, 82 Fahrenheit, 13 miles per hour to left is not good for Turnbull. You know, a sinker ball pitcher. The wind can carry that. Yes, Ace King. The taint is Angels first 5 minus a half, and I love it. And I hope it becomes available in my book. They're not giving us the alternate lines. And that's Duggar versus Ohtani, I believe, and we'll get to it soon. Keuchel 4-1, 4.53 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 59 2/3, 30 Ks, 18 walks, 8 home runs. He just does not look good of late. And remember, the Tigers were hitting high 400 OPS versus lefties up until like 3 weeks ago. And I was telling you guys, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The sample size is too small because we know in years past, these Tigers have smashed lefties. It's the only thing they've been able to do well over the last few years. And I said that number is going to go up. Now it's gone up to 222, 624 OPS, but it will continue to go up. Tigers bullpen, 5.16 ERA, 1.50 WHIP, converted 11 to 19 save opportunities. The White Sox bullpen has become very good. 3.49 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, converted 15 of 24 save opportunities. Oh, it's up. Nilo says it's up. The Angels one. Sorry, let me just go over there right quick. It must have just come up. And first 5. Oh, beauty. Beauteous. Minus 125. I hope it stays there. I bet you it'll be minus 135 when I go to bed it. Because they're assholes. Okay. So, man, you know, I should have multiple books going. Extremely frustrating. Plus 132 on Sports Interaction. I'd be very curious to see what Sports Interaction has done with this, because it was at plus 132 when I was on the radio this morning. And let's see what it is right now. The first five's at plus 117. So that's a 15-cent move, but I mean, at plus 117, still pretty good. Very, very, very frustrating. Okay, let's just go to batter versus pitcher quickly here. Baseball data in this spot. Against Turnbull, they're hitting 286 with a 790 OPS. Now, it is Moncada and Abreu that get the big hits. 3 for 5 for Moncada with a double. 3 for 7 for Abreu with 2 doubles. 35 at-bats, 10 singles, 3 doubles, no home runs. Against Keuchel, they're hitting 299 with a 910 OPS. And they're going to start hitting lefties harder. And I can't move it at plus 105. Even at plus 120, I probably move on it. Okay, we move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins, 22-34, 10-17 on the road at Kansas City Royals, 28-26, 15-13 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. The bullpen advantage is so enormous for the White Sox. So I got to stay off of it. 8:10 p.m., Twinkies, Royals. 83 Fahrenheit, clear, 10 miles per hour, out to left. Shout out to our Matt Randall with the taint play of the day on the Royals yesterday. We have Matt Shoemaker going up against Brad Keller. And both of these just saw the opposition. Both these guys just saw the opposition. It was a 6-3. They went up against each other. It was a 6-3 win for the Royals. Shoemaker got touched. He went 4 in the third, allowed 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 0 home runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 6-3 loss at home versus the Royals. Keller got touched as well, but not as violently. In 5 innings, he went 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 home run, 4 walks, 6 Ks in the 6-3 win. The Twins hit righties hard, 236, 734 OPS. Royals aren't that far behind at 239, 697 OPS. Twins bullpen, 4.70 ERA, 1.41 whip. We've been waiting for it to improve. It just hasn't. And the Royals bullpen is better at 3.95 ERA, 1.37 whip. Glenn Man says the Royals have won 4 in a row. Jorge Gonzalez says KC all the way. DC says seems KC has Minnesota's number. There's our guy Griffin in the house. Great to see you, Griff. Raymond Reddington says KC moneyline and over. Matty Ice says KC again for me today. So let's pull up the data here. Against Shoemaker, they're hitting 348 with a 952 OPS. Sal Perez is 9 for 17 with 3 doubles and 2 homers against them. Against Keller, they're hitting 214 with a 683 OPS. And Keller is good at home. And that last start was in Minnesota. And I like Keller at home, but he has burnt me a couple times there. Let's see what the market move is in this spot. Oh, wow. For whatever reason, they have Keller listed on Friday as well as Thursday. I wonder if there's a possible change. The first 5 is at 5. And let's go to the full game money lines and totals here. We have Keller opening up at minus 117. He's now minus 121, a 4-cent move towards him. This total has not moved at 9.5. Let's go to this Detroit, Chicago White Sox move just so I can see it. So you have 63% of the tickets, 68% of the money on the White Sox. I would be interested in what their first 5, but I don't want to get upset here. Okay, so let's look at this here. Minnesota Twins, KC Royals spot, where the market is. We have 62% of the tickets on KC, 86% of the cash on KC. And the market's not moving. Interesting enough, look at this. You have 35% of the tickets on the under and 98% of the cash on the under, and no movement there either. Christopher Comtein says, I see 10 runs in this game. Biker. They do, Biker. I'm not going to move on it. I am a little surprised that 86% of the cash in 1,200 tickets is on. Henry Hen says, Jimmy, I beg you give me one MLB lock. We don't use the word lock, but we can all talk about our best bets of the day, Henry, here shortly. I think that Matty Ice's taint play of the day is probably, at this number, the best play on the board. The Los Angeles Angels first 5 minus a half. Okay. Eric Rosas says, I wonder how many times the team told us cash for a team that plays the Twins. Yeah, right. Okay, there's going to be no move for me. Daily Sam, no. We have NBA next. We always go MLB, NBA, NHL. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Betting with the Bag on Pub Sports Radio. We move on to Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals. Reds 25-29, 13-15 on the road. Cardinals 31-26, 15-11 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, Henry Hen, thinking about the card right now, I would say it's the Angels first 5 minus a half. But, we'll have more time to break everything down. We're in Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. 83 Fahrenheit, clear 6 miles per hour, sideways, slightly out to left. We have Luis Castillo. We've talked about how he has less movement this year. I'm still waiting for him to wake up and be a Cy Young candidate, and it's not happening. 1-8, 7.22 ERA, 1.78 WHIP, 52 and a third, 48 Ks, 23 walks, 8 home runs. This is a heated rivalry, and sometimes when you look across and see the St. Louis Cardinals and you're a Cincinnati Red, sometimes that is exactly what you need to get your shit together and get your laser focus in. Castillo's last start was better. It was at the Cubs. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 home runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks. It was a 10-2 loss. Kwang Young Kim on the other side, 1-3, 3.65 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, 37 innings, 33 Ks, 12 walks, 3 home runs. The lefty has thrown in his last start. He went 5 innings, allowed 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 9-2 loss at Arizona. We know the Arizona hit lefties hard. The Reds do not. 214, 658 OPS. Jason Albert, yes, the taint is the Angels' first 5 minus a half. The Cardinals versus righties, 225, 671 OPS. Reds bullpen is atrocious, 5.60 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, 11 of 18 saved, converted. The Cardinals bullpen is not good, but the back end is good. They have a 4.43 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. They've converted 20 of 25 save opportunities. Jose says, if Castillo gets traded to the Yankees this year, I'm taking a sick day. I hear that. Jacksonville Zoe says, both of these pitchers are trash. Let's take a look at what the market has done with this spot here. We have Kim opening up at minus 125. He's now minus 136. His total opened up at 8. It's now at 8.5. Let's see the baseball data here. Against Castillo, they're hitting 264 with an 833 OPS. No, Arenado's 4 for 9 with 4 singles. And Goldschmidt's 6 for 26, but has 2 homers. Sharpie says Cards struggle versus right-handed pitching. Reds struggle versus left-handed pitching. Under first 5 over full game. That makes a lot of sense. But Sharpie, then you're going to trust Luis Castillo here. And that's hard to do. That's very hard to do right now. Kwang Young Kim, they're hitting 233, 633 OPS. If they're offering you a 5, that's pretty nice. There's no doubt about it. Let's go over to so we have the full game here. Is at 8.5. It's gone up. Let's go to the first 5. The first 5 is at 4.5. I can't do it, man. I just can't trust Castillo. And I don't know if Castillo is going to be incredible. I never know. I don't know what Castillo. I can't figure Castillo out this year, and I don't want to put money in the spot where he's pitching right now, unless I'm confident fading him. Let's move on to 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 33-25, 16-8 on the road. The Colorado Rockies 23-34, 19-12 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. 88 Fahrenheit, clear, 4 miles per hour out to left. We have Frankie Hard Toss Montas 5-5, 4.45 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, 58 and 2/3, 63 Ks, 17 walks, 11 home runs allowed, and he's got so much talent, but they seem to be able to barrel up on him, and he loses his focus. His last start was a perfect example. He went 5 2/3, allowed 6 hits, but there was an error, and then the floodgates sort of opened. He allowed 4 runs. None of them were earned. 1 walk, 7 Ks, and a 4-0 loss at home to the Angels. John Gray, the Gray Wolf, is getting touched right now. Bad start after bad start. He got off to a great start to the year. In his last outing was at Pittsburgh. He only went 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks. They were all over him. But he's had a pretty decent overall, 3.71 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 60 and 2/3, 50 Ks, 25 walks, 6 home runs. A's versus righties, 224, 703 OPS. Rockies versus righties, just 227, 663 OPS. The A's bullpen, 3.85 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. It's getting better and better as the season goes on. They've converted 14 of 20 save opportunities. Rockies bullpen, 5.54 ERA, 1.53 WHIP. They've converted 8 of 17 save opportunities. DC says, ooh, this game. Over. Oh, sorry. Ooh, over. Sorry, that's what you're saying. Christopher Cummings says, yes, over. Glenn Elliott Man says Frankie Montas was on the juice when he was really good. That's a good point. Fat Win says taking cover, people unleashing my load. Best bet today, Oakland first 5 run line -0.5 against the Gray Wolf. All right, let's see what they've done with this market move. We have the first 5 opening up at 5.5. It's now 6. Montas opening up around -130. That's where it stands right now for the first 5. Let's move over to full game. Full game. This total opened up at 10. It's gone up a full run to 11. Oakland opened up at -123. They're now at -128. Let's see how these pitchers fare against the opponent. Frankie Montas, they're 8 for 13 against Montas. Ryan McMahon's 4 for 4. Charlie Backman's 3 for 6. Against John Gray, they're 2 for 5 against them. And P-Dog 781 saying last 3 games, Kim giving up a run per inning. Piker says Rockies on a streak at home, catching plus money, lean Rockies. Yeah, Freddie Freeball and I should be slowing down more. Gas station, I'm not sure what you're asking there. KCOH MMA says, yeah, I like Oakland to win outright. Rockies are the most injured team in MLB right now. Turnsy said Shifley just announced his family's been receiving abuse after his hit. Yeah, that's going to happen. Glenn Man says, I was leaning Oakland, but Rockies have won 4 in a row and are 5-0 versus AL. Look, I don't know how you can trust either of these pitchers. Tico play of the day. Matic over. Shifley getting 4 games was too many. I agree with that. But I don't want to start getting abuse from Habs fans, so I should just keep my mouth shut. Okay. Clearly, the move to the over makes a lot of sense. But I can't trust either of these pitchers on the mound at all. And so I can't sit here with an angle that I like. Los Angeles Angels, Seattle Mariners, we have arrived to our taint play of the day. Freddie Freeball says Shifley needs a roundhouse skate to his face. So. Okay. Sharpie says I can't bet Montas in Colorado. He's a breaking ball pitcher in the air in Colorado. It doesn't help his spin rate. Okay. And Viper says total's gone under in 4 of LA's Angels' last 5 games when playing home. I think this is probably the best bet on the board at this point is the Angels' first 5 -1/2. I was waiting for it to come out. I was hoping to have bet it before we got here. It's Ohtani going up against Duggar. Ohtani and the Angels open up at, I don't have an opening line, but they're sitting around -170. Sorry, let's get this up here. 71 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour out to center. Nice weather for offense at Angel Stadium. Duggar is not going to go long, so it's going to be a Mariners bullpen day. And this Mariners bullpen has not been as strong as they were in the beginning of the year. Duggar, in his last appearance, went 1 inning to its 1 earned run in a 6-0 loss at home versus the A's. In his last start, he went 3 1/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walk, 1 K. Did not look good. Ohtani, 1-1, 2.72 ERA, 1.24 whip, 36 1/3, 50 Ks, 26 walks, 3 home runs. Look, we know there's going to be an Ohtani tax, and I don't like paying it. I don't want to pay it, but I'll pay it here. The Mariners are hitting 201, 656 OPS versus righties. The Angels are hitting 247, 716 OPS versus righties. That number's been going down without Trout in the lineup. The Angels bullpen is so bad, so you want to focus on first 5. KCOH MMA said Angels need to get on this bullpen pitching lineup quickly today. Should be easy cover for the Angels on the 1.5 line. Johnny K liking the Mariners. Glenn Allman said Seattle 13-5 in 1-run games. I still don't trust this Mariners bullpen. They completely exceeded our expectations in the beginning of the year. Let's see where the money is here in this Angels spot. We have all the money coming in on the Angels and all the money coming in on the over. Huge money coming in. Now there's not a ton of tickets counted yet. That's just 882 tickets. Glenn Man looking at Ohtani K's. And Ron Lofton's only getting the full game with the Angels so far. So first 5 -1/2. I'm going to move on this. I have to admit, though, that I was expecting this to be more expensive. The fact that it's not as expensive as I was expecting does make me a little uncomfortable. But It feels like the spot, and I'm going to move on it. All right, we have 2 games left. This has been a battle, this huge MLB card. Let's go. Cubs, Giants. Now, do we have a Giants pitcher announced? We don't. I want to fade Arrieta so badly. Please give me the opportunity to fade Arrieta, and I will do just that. You have to go first 5. This Cubs bullpen is lights out. It's 56 Fahrenheit clear, 13 miles per hour to left center, but you know what? The wind kind of, it's not like other ballparks. It's, so I want to fade Arrieta with everything I am. And as soon as I get the opportunity, I will be on a Giants first 5 as soon as I can. I just need a market, and there's no market available, and we've got lots of work to do, so I'm not going to move too much. Glen Ellie, man, it's not Webb. It is not Webb. Well, Webb was placed on the IL last night. There's Ron Crawford in the house. Ron Crawford, we've missed you, man. Ron Crawford in the joint. Mass Gambler has them winners. Well, share them. Okay, so Cubs are only hitting 234, 711 OPS versus righties. Giants hitting 227, 720 OPS versus righties. And Giants bullpen 3.88 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. This Cubs bullpen's lights out right now. Oh wow, really, Glenn? Man, saw someone saying Casimir. If they're gonna throw a lefty out there to get rocked, then I'll have to take the first 5 over, and I don't mind that. I want Arrieta involved. There's Richie Rich in the house, spectacular NHL capper. And Ternsey says, walked outside, my wife and kid are washing my Charger. I've trained them well. And Just Sports says, I heard Casimir as well. Okay, well, obviously I'm going to have to study that a little more. Leonard Porsche, my man. Great to see you. Leonard Porsche. I got it. Okay. I love the Costanza. Okay. I'm going to just copy, make sure that I know that's Leonard Porsche. Is that okay? There's Big Show picks in the house. Yenny Tunes on Dallas Mavericks money line. I can't wait to talk about that spot. So let's go into this last game of the day. It's Joey Lucchesi going up against Blake Snell. It certainly feels like the Tampa Bay Rays have their finger on the pulse of all pitching. And they know when someone's going to get better. They know when someone's going to regress. They got rid of Snell at the perfect time. Mets are 27-22, 12-17 on the road. Padres are 35-23, 19-10 at home, 64 Fahrenheit clear, 6 miles per hour sideways across the diamond. Joey Lucchesi 1-3, 6.56 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 23 in the third, 27 Ks, 8 walks, 2 home runs. Snell 1-2, 5.55 ERA, 1.60 WHIP, 47 innings, 70 Ks, 31 walks, 8 home runs. He does not look good. Mets are hitting 236, 712 OPS versus lefties. Padres are bad versus lefties, 229, 662 OPS. Both bullpens are very good. Both bullpens are very good. Big Show, yes, I am growing out. I'm growing the beard out for my Colorado Avalanche futures. Okay, so Viper says totals gone over in 5 New York Mets last 5 games. Let's see what we're dealing with from a market perspective here in this metropolitan spot. We have Snell and the Padres opening up at -173. They're now -178. A 5-cent move towards them. This full game totals at 7.5. A 7-cent move towards the under. It was juiced at -113. Now it's juiced at -120. And Lucchesi used to play for this team. You know there's going to be a lot of emotion for him. Let's see. The first 5 in this spot is at 4. And there's actually been a 1-cent move to the over. It was at -113. The under now it's at -112. Let's go to baseball data here against Lucchesi. They're 1 for 8, but these guys know Lucchesi. Against Snell, they're hitting 304 with an 832 OPS. Griffin says like the over in this spot. I gotta like it too, first 5. You telling me they can't get to 4? I kind of like it too. Let's see where the money's gone here, and then we'll move on to NBA. We have 74% of the tickets on the over, 62% of the cash on the under. That's a red flag for me. We have 74% of the tickets on Snell and 62% of the cash on them on the money line. All right, that's a red flag on the total for me, and I'm not going to move. Sharpie says, I bet the first 5 over 4. Padres don't hit left-handed pitching. This isn't good. Mets smash left-handed pitching. They used to. Injuries have caused them to go just 236, 712 OPS so far this year. But okay, the big bets made on the under is a red flag for me, so I'm going to stay off that first 5 over. And that is our MLB card. So again, my 14-game winning streak snapped last night in the bottom of the 5th with a Taijuan Walker wild pitch, and my Padres Mets first 5 under 3.5. Let's go over the plan. First 5 under 4.5. Indians Baltimore was what I was looking at, but I can't say I'm that confident in that look. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger because there's other stuff that I do like. So my action starts with the over 8.5 in Braves Dodgers. Then I'm on the under 8 in Rays Rangers. I'm on the first 5. The only bet I've already made, first 5 minus a half and minus 135 on the Brewers. And the market screwed me in the Tigers first 5 that I wanted. And then the only other spot for me is I'm tailing Taint play of the day, Angels first 5 minus a half. And then I want to figure out how to fade Jake Arrieta or how to expect offense in the first 5 innings. And I will figure that out when that's available. But that's it. That is my action. And I'm going to keep it simple and keep it small. Sharpie says Mets last week has killed left-handed pitching. They got 5 off Bumgarner. Glenn Elliott Man says San Diego 9-3 versus left-handed starters. Look, if that market wasn't, if there weren't big bets made on the under, I'd be on the over with Sharpie. Piker says Padres hitters have not even seen Lucchesi. Well, what do you mean? I mean, they saw him every day for 2 years, 3 years. So they've seen him a ton. They just haven't gone up against him in a regular season game. Piker, I mean, he played for the Padres. So they know everything about Lucchesi. They just haven't seen him in a regular season game. They spend weeks in spring training facing him. They just haven't seen him in a regular season game. So I think that isn't quite those stats don't give the story justice if he played for that team. Okay, that is MLB. Again, we came in 1 week. 1 week, we've got back just under 14 units. So feels good. Feels good. All right, let's move on to NBA. And I stayed off NBA, much to my chagrin. I wanted to back the Suns, and I got scared off. And I said that as soon as AD was announced in, I was going to take the Suns, but I was a little surprised that it was just a 1-point market move. I thought AD would be more. Obviously, the market understood they weren't going to give it too much. Sorry, stay off the table taps. My fault, Nilo. Okay. Griffin says Clippers minus 2.5 full game. My first play of the day for the show. I got a great feeling about it. Clippers show up on the road and have especially shown a lot more these past few games. All right, West first round, game 6. Dallas leads series 3-2. Clippers are 47-25 in the regular season. They were 21-15 on the road. Mavericks were 21-15 at home. They weren't great at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, and neither team has won at home yet. Clippers and Mavs pace during the regular season were both slow. Clippers were 28th in the league. Mavs were 26th in the league. They were both a little over 97.5 possessions a game. The series has been very slow, but efficient, but very slow. 91.60 possessions a game, and the total's gone way under the last couple spots. It's the third playoff series in NBA history and the first since 1995 in which the road team has won the first 5 games. Let's see what we're dealing with from a market perspective right away before we break down some more looks here and we talk player props. The Clippers open up at -3 at even money. There's been a 2-cent move towards the Clippers. They're now -102. From a totals perspective, sorry, let me fix that. Here we go. From a totals perspective, we have it opened up at 216.5, and one book, Bet Online's dropped it a point, but no one else has. All right. Polo this, Polo that says what these last 2 days have showed us is bet the Mavs to close it out. Viper MB says the total's gone under in 7 of Dallas' last 9 games and playing the LA Clippers. Piker says Clips back to the wall. Don't particularly play well at home anyways. Lean Clips for show. Says Clips are the toughest NBA team to cap. Literally never know what you're getting out of them. Just ask Rondo. Sharpie has Dallas at +1,700 to win the conference. Griffin says lean under, but this is a sharp line. And Glenn Elliott, man, kind of leaning Dallas +3. Billy Brisbane says still +1,200 for the Mavs to win the West. Okay, now let's look and see where the cash is. And this is good. When you get to these NBA playoff games, you have a lot of time to study all these tickets. So there's just under 11,000 tickets. And on the spread, 54% of the tickets and 82% of the cash. Just moved to 53. 82% of the cash on the Clippers. On the money line, 40% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the Clippers. 73% of the tickets on the over, 59% of the cash on the over, and it's not moving. Very, very interesting. So part of my issue here is how the Clips broke my heart last year. And I've not gotten over it. And watching them not win at home, watching Kawhi not play well last game when they needed him so badly. Raymond Reichart in the house. Great to see you, Raymond. Puzzler is 2 units on Paul George over 4.5 assists. Jacksonville Zoe says if I can get a 3.5, I'll be on Luka the Dawn. Penny Bomb says Luka gonna roll. Okay, so Doncic had the neck strain. 2 days off. Goes for 42 points, 14 assists, 8 boards. But he did shoot just 1 of 8 in the fourth. He went 17 of 37 from the floor. He took 3 more shots than Paul George and Kawhi Leonard combined. That can't happen. Tim Hardaway added 20. He's the only other Maverick in double digits. Our guy Robert Cherry on the show yesterday gave Hardaway first basket, and he cashed that at a huge price. Marjanovic, Boban made his first start, second appearance in the series. They tried to go bigger, 9 points, 7 boards. So Paul George goes for 23 and 10. Kawhi Leonard goes for just 20. I immediately looked at the Kawhi Leonard point prop. It's at 29.5. And I cannot sit here and tell you that I trust the Clippers. Pull this, pull that says feel old seeing the NBA transition and all these young stars taking over. Raymond Reichart says I lean over. They've all gone over in Dallas. Piker says Clips are mental. Says you got to play this game live. Wait for the first time out. If Clips look as they should, just lay the wood. They're winning. That's a really good way of looking at it, Piker. I get it. And Glenn Iman says, I agree. We are seeing a transition. All right. Well, so before game 5, we had Trot Wham on the show saying Luka the Dawn over points. We had Dutch Boy Fresh in the chat saying, look at Luka the Dawn over points. And we're not getting that today. So that is interesting that we're not hearing that from everybody today. Let's go to the player prop market. We have Paul George at 24.5 juice to the over. Kawhi Leonard at 29.5 juice to the under. And then Luka at 31.5 juice to the over pretty heavily. Wow. Hardaway at 17.5 juice to the over. And Big Dick Zingis, Kristaps, is juiced to the over at 15.5. I'm a little surprised at that. So points, assists, and rebounds. Kawhi at 42.5 and Luka at 48.5, heavily juiced to the over. Bill McDonald has PG3 over 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists, needs to show up. Sharpie says, so 80% of money on Clippers and Clippers money line, yet the line has stayed the same. Mavs bet for me because the money says so. 82% of the cash on the money line on the Clippers and 82% of the cash on the spread on the Clippers. There's 60% of the tickets are on the Mavs, but just 18% of the cash on the money line. Wow, that's extremely interesting. It's been a tough NBA season for me, and I do not want to count on Kawhi and Paul George because of the vividness bias that I have from last year. And Kawhi putting up 20 points in the game 5 at home. And so because of him letting me down so much, I feel like I'm a deer in the headlights. I just can't move. I just don't know what to do. and I guess I'm going to do nothing. Raymond Reichart says if we don't think Luka's going to hit his points, then doesn't that correlate with clips against spread or the win? Again, also, if the Mavs, I mean, how many minutes did Boban play yesterday or 2 days ago? Because when Boban's on the court, you're like, look how slow the pace just slows down. So let's just quickly, because after 2 straight unders, I kind of feel like the over will be in play. In saying that, I don't think I can move on it when the Mavs are going big, and it worked for them last game. And so if the lineups come out with Boban starting, maybe the best move is a first quarter under. I'm just going to very quickly look at the Luka box score from yesterday. Here we go. Boban played 20 minutes. He was a -9. Yeah. But then they put up 35 points in that first quarter. So, okay, at this point, I think it's no move for me. Raymond Reichart said Boban was the proper adjustment to that Clips small lineup that was running them out of the gym. Yeah, I agree. Glenn Man says seeing some very good cappers on the Clippers. Tim Hardaway over 2.5 threes. Raymond says he had the Clips in foul trouble. All right. It's going to be no move for me at this point in NBA. I've started to turn around a little bit, put some wins on the board. We had a 3-in-1 day on Wednesday, and I stayed off the board on Thursday. But my intuition was right yesterday, and I'm still very angry about what the Clippers did last year in the playoffs, and I just can't get over it. And watching them, I didn't take them in Game 5 at home because I couldn't trust them. And now when I'm supposed to trust them on Game 6 on the road, when everything's on the line, and I said all year, I don't know how much they care. When I watch them talk, how much they care about losing last year. I don't know how much they care. All right. No move for me there in Clippers Mavericks right now. Let's move on to NHL. We got 2 huge games. First one popping off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And as always, we have our NHL expert, Belleville's finest, Mr. Gokster, in the house. Gokster, what's happening, my man? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing? I'm doing good, Jim. Just went 1-on-1 yesterday. Looking to get back at it today. I got a lot of picks today. 5 picks already locked and loaded.
I like it. And just going over that NBA spot, so difficult.
Hold on, guys. How are we doing?
The Hardaway over 2.5 threes is at -160 at my book. It makes a ton of sense, but I can't. Sterling at -160. I can't move on it. Okay, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, North, second round, Game 2. Montreal leads the series 1-0, and the verdict for Scheifele came in, Gokster, and it is a 4-game suspension.
I told you that hook, Jim. I wanted that hook. Remember you gave up 4.5?
Yeah.
What's going on, guys, in the chat?
4-game suspension.
I thought that was a little rich, don't you?
I wouldn't have given him 4 games.
No. Clean guy, you know.
But with the pressure going on right now, I would have felt pressure to give him more than 1.
Yeah. And I think just like how bad the injury was too, I think that had a lot to do with the result of the suspension. Like it seems like if they really get hurt from it, it seems like they lay the book down. But Evans, obviously, he wasn't getting up. He's poor guy. It was his birthday too, Jim?
Look, he's a Montreal Canadian. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, he's got it made compared to look at me. I'm in the dungeon here, so yeah, I shouldn't be living him up anyway.
I would happily get knocked out to be a Montreal Canadian. All right, let's go.
Keep your head up. That's right, Glenn.
Jets open up at -115. They're now at -108.
Mm-hmm.
Very peculiar.
You know where I'm looking on this one, man.
I do. Very peculiar that there hasn't been a bigger move towards Le We're at Bell MTS Center in Winnipeg. I guess, do we stop talking about the Montreal Canadiens stats in the regular season?
Well, yeah, I think so, because they've been both of these teams were limped their way into the playoffs, and then Jets looked unbelievable for 4 games, and now they're struggling again. They got injuries. Montreal's still healthy. Now you just knocked out one of their guys. It's not looking good for Winnipeg, if you ask me.
And then you have Paul Stastny hurt.
Yeah, game time decision.
And Blake Wheeler's going to have to move to center if he's not there. You have players on the Habs with enormous amounts of confidence right now, like Kotkaniemi, Nick Suzuki. Yeah, Cole Caulfield. I mean, he changed everything. Brendan Gallagher. Edmondson is playing so well. Petrie, who had a bit of a dip in the second half of the season, is playing.
Deneau on the first line too. All of them are firing. Yeah.
And what up, good? Great to see you, my man. So, Polo this says Montreal's playing upbeat. Sharpie says Price standing on his head, can't bet against them. Glenn Man says Wheeler gets a point. He has 6 shots first game.
Yeah, I like that. He's gonna have to lead the way.
He will have to lead the way, but he'll also have to play very accountable if he moves over to center.
This is true, yeah.
And it's
the offense, is going to have to come from Ehlers and oh god, I'm blanking on the other guy, Connors. Ehlers and Connors are going to have to be the 2 guys because Connors is going to play more accountable, win a lot of face-offs. He's going to have to do a little more of the dirty work.
There's no doubt about the fact that Dubois has done squat ass nothing.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't Tortorella. Maybe he's just a weak ass, what?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Dubois. He looks like he's still playing the same way he did in Columbus,
He's been pretty bad. He's been blatantly bad. It's very strange watching him play so poorly. So let's get into this. I love Adam Lowry's game. I've been so impressed with him. I think Kyle Connor's dangerous all over the ice. Mm-hmm. But losing Scheifele is a huge blow, and not having Stastny to kind of step in.
Yeah, veteran presence, exactly. Been there.
So let's take a look at where the cash is here on Sports Insight. So we have 5,000 tickets. 66%. Sorry, that's the spread. Let's not stay away from the spread. 57% of the tickets on the money line are on the Jets. 80% of the cash is on the Jets.
Ooh. Really, eh?
58. Listen to this. 58% of the tickets are on the under, but just 26% of the cash
is on the under.
Yeah. So the idea being the over
is similar to the first game. Do you see it being any different, Jim? I don't. I think both of them are going to trade goals. Montreal is going to have the upper hand. The defense for Winnipeg guys is not looking good. DeMello's out. Don't expect to see him back. Jordy Ben's going to fill in Jimmy from what I'm seeing. So his first game playing in a long time, going to have to slip in a game 2. It's not a good spot. Only thing that can really hold Winnipeg from winning this game, Jimmy, I think is if Hellebuck plays absolutely unbelievable and he somehow shuts this down and Winnipeg wins like a 2-1 game. But I don't see that happening. Montreal want to put their foot on the gas here. They don't want to go back 1-1. They know they should win both of these games. The way Winnipeg's limping into this series, they're banged up. Now you don't have Scheifele too, guys. He's a spark plug. He's like a poor man's McKinnon, in my opinion, Jimmy. He's like a poor man's McKinnon. He's really good. He can do everything really, really fast. Can light up the back of the net at any point in time. So they're missing a lot of players on offense, on defense. If Hellebuck doesn't play unbelievable, this could be a puck line win, in my opinion, for Montreal.
I think you put it perfectly. Now, coming into this series, we knew how well Price was playing, but I wasn't saying, Montreal has an advantage in net. Hellebuck was incredible in that Oilers series at times, and
he was doing it with shittier defense in front of him too, Hellebuck.
So Glenn Man said Habs could pull in 1993. We talked about that yesterday. I mean, that Habs team won 11 straight games in overtime, I believe, 10 or 11. I can't quite remember.
And when our guy yesterday, Earl, he said Montreal was 14-1 to win the cup. The more I kept thinking about that after the show, you never know, guys. Hot goalie, this team's humming at the right time. 93, they did this, so I think a little couple bucks on Montreal to win the cup at 14-1 wouldn't be a bad look.
You could do that, or you could just
to win the North.
No, or you could just start taking them. Well, now you'd have to bet them per game, but like in the Avalanche series, you're going to get huge numbers betting them game by game.
Yeah.
So if they win the series in 7 and you get 4 money line winners, it's a huge score. And then you could
pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
And you could carry that money over. Like, there's a lot of options there because if they're capable of winning games against the Avalanche, you're going to get paid out. Like you could still make a lot of money without them winning the Stanley Cup.
Do you think that would drop though? Do you think you'd still get that line by game 6 if it goes that far? Do you think the line would be like?
No, I don't think the market can correct itself against the Avs.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
But yeah, I think Montreal's the way to look here. I pulled the trigger on a 3-way here. First period Montreal, full game Montreal, team total over 2.5 at -107 Montreal, and the money line was -101. The first period was 101. So I like the lines. Hopefully it's not a trap with this line, Jim, because you're right. Why isn't this like -115, 120 with no Scheifele, no DeMello now? It's kind of, a bit of a head scratcher, to be honest. Maybe just because of all the money.
Yeah, Goiper says same ones who said Habs had no chance to beat the Leafs will never think the Habs are legit. Yeah, the Habs will be consistently questioned, and they're still being questioned. I mean, beating the Leafs, they were pretty fortunate that the Leafs captain got knocked out 8 minutes into the series. Yeah. You're always going to say those things right now about the Habs. I just don't see the market correcting themselves. And I tell you what, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to stand in the way of them anymore.
Yeah.
I've lost enough money doing that.
I would feel like a home. I don't know. No offense to anyone out there if you're betting Winnipeg, but I just can't. I can't bet Winnipeg right now. There's no way, guys. Unless Hellebuck stands on his head, how are they going to stop them? Also, guys, Montreal's defense. Price played really good in those first couple games. That's because Montreal's defense was absolute ass. They've been a lot better now. They even played really good in game 1, Jim. You saw Weber have a breakaway in game 1. Like their defense was even pitching an offense. So this is not a good sign for Winnipeg at all.
No, it's not a good sign for Winnipeg. Interesting. Let's just take a quick look at the team totals here. Habs under 2.5 -120. Jets under 2.5 +115. Are you surprised? I mean, that surprises me.
I know the numbers are head scratching, and Richie Rich says it there. No sharp money on Montreal. Why not? It's a Winnipeg spot tonight. Hey, if it is, it is. I'll learn a lesson tonight, guys. But for as long as I've been watching hockey, this just does not seem like a spot to jump in on Winnipeg, even though they did sweep a team 4-0. They do not look like the same hockey team at all. And now they don't have Scheifele, DeMello. It's just not good.
Richie Rich on Winnipeg. Jessica Easton on Winnipeg. Goiper says Habs built for the playoffs. They are. They got a lot of veteran leadership, and then they got the young, exciting forwards.
It's dangerous.
Penny Bomb says Jets. There's our guy Bruce Shad in the house.
What's going on, Bruce? It's funny. I'm wearing a Winnipeg jersey. I should probably duck a little bit. There we go.
Okay, well, let's review your action once again in Habs Jets. What's your official place?
So I got 3 of them here, guys. I'm doing first period Montreal -101, full game Montreal -101, and I really like this team total over 2.5 -107. Let's rock, baby. Triple up.
I'm surprised that the Jets under 2.5 is at +115. I mean, because the Jets could win this game 2-1 and 2-0.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Are the Jets going to be able to score 3 goals if Wheeler has to move over to center and have all the defensive responsibilities that are associated with that?
Yeah, no, I'd want the under. Like, I don't know how their team total over 2.5 is juiced higher. Like, I know the money line will tell you that, but it was like -133 last day I looked too on the over. What did you say the over was, Jim, on Winnipeg? The team total?
The over 2.5 is at -155.
That's insane. And Montreal was -107 at my book. So it seemed to me, it looks like the market's wrong. If you ask me, it seems like this is wrong. Like they're just, I don't know. It doesn't seem right. Like I really have a hard time saying to you guys, take Winnipeg. Obviously I'm all on Montreal. So yeah, I don't know what else to, I don't know what else to tell you guys.
All right, let's move on. 10 p.m. Eastern, and Richie Rich says Winnipeg team total lock. I have been crushed in the NHL playoffs. It's been tough. It's been a real tough slap in the face from the sport I hold so dear to my heart. West second round game now. Avalanche win the Stanley Cup, and then
that too, yeah. And MLB, you were 14-0, so
yeah. But I mean, it just still this is.
Yeah, I know, Jim. I cannot.
Tough to take.
Yeah.
Game 3, Colorado up 2-0. Avalanche 17-9-2 on the road. Vegas was 21-5-2 at home this year. We're at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. This Avs power play 43.5% in the playoffs after going 22.7% during the regular season. And even that, you kind of want to put a line through it because of the issues they had with COVID and with McCarr's injury and Samuel Girard's injury. With the Knights, though, the power play is at 15% in the playoffs. Their penalty killing's at 77.3%. It's just not good enough.
I had 72. Yeah, 77. Okay.
That's why I could double check all that stuff.
Jeez, but that's not good. Yeah, it's not good.
It is not good. This total opened up 5.5, and the under was at plus 100. Now the under is at minus 116. So we've seen a 16-cent move towards the under. Let's go over to money line action here. It opened up as a pick'em, and Colorado has taken 14 cents. We also heard Earl on our show yesterday, Nicholas Earl, say that if it stayed at this number, that Colorado would be his best bet.
Yeah.
So let's see where
he said, yeah.
Yeah, let's see where the money is. We have 70% of the tickets on Vegas and 85% of the cash on Vegas.
Wow.
And the market is moving towards the Colorado Avalanche. We have 47% of the tickets on the under, 80% of the cash on the under. That's 5,300 tickets in and counted. Rantanen won the game with the overtime winner. Sayed and Jost also scored. Avalanche are 6-0 in the postseason. That's tied the franchise mark set in 1987. The Nordiques. Grubauer, 39 saves. He's the first goaltender in franchise history to pick up 6 straight wins in the postseason.
Former Belmont.
And there was times when the Golden Knights were seriously taking the play to them. Golden Knights hit 3 posts in the third period. They outshot the Avalanche 41-25. The McKinnon-Landeskog-Rantanen line was held in check until that overtime winner. Rantanen now had at least 1 point in his last 16 playoff games dating back to last season. Brandon Sayat, we talked about what a perfect playoff guy he is because he's a big body.
Yeah.
He's been there and done that. I'd love to pick up. So he has extended his goal streak to 5 games.
Wow.
The record is 7 straight by a man that all hockey fans love, Claude Lemieux, in 1997, and Joe Sakic in 96. Colorado is 14-1 in best-of-7 playoff series when winning the first 2 games since relocating to Denver in 1995-96. Ooh-wee, Ghoster, take it away.
Whoa. All right, so game 2. Game 2 here, guys. 3-2 Colorado. Our expected goals were 2.98 Vegas, 2.69 Colorado. So Vegas definitely had more expected goals, more better chances, as Jim was getting to. One issue, though, Colorado on the road, they're not the same beast as they are at home for the most part. Look at this, guys, 20-0-1 in the last 21 games at home, plus a 2-game sweep versus Vegas. That's what I have here. So they've been absolutely unbelievable, Colorado, lately. They're 9-5, though, since April 1st on the road. So they have stumbled a bit on the road, and their goals against Jim on the road is 3.14. That is the regular season, but still, that just tells me that they're a little more susceptible on the road. I think Grubauer is especially. Another thing I dug deeper into was expected rebounds on shots. So what's your rebound rate on shots? That's very big, especially got guys in front of the net. Grubauer was 2.54. That was the highest at all 4 of these goalies. And Fleury had a 1.99. So I think Grubauer he's gonna let in a few here, and I'm really surprised by that money. 80% of the money on the under guys. I expect Grubauer to be touched here a little bit. Vegas were playing really good hockey, and that last game they were pushing the pace. Goals 4-2 in the playoffs here. 4 in the first, 13 in the second for Vegas, and 6 in the third. Looking at Colorado, 7 in the first, 10 in the second, and 12 in the third. You have a total of 23 goals, Jim, in about 6 games apiece between both of them. So right away, guys, we're going back to the old both teams to score, this time in the second period, because both these teams are just firing away in the second. And 6 goals allowed for Colorado in the playoffs in the second. That's their most in any period. And you have 6 for Vegas as well. So I'm going to be taking both teams to score in the second period here, guys, and the over. I don't see why not taking the over. Fleury, he did look okay, but both of these penalty kills are below 80%. I got 78% penalty kill for Colorado as well. So a decent power play, as you guys know, with Colorado. So look for some goals here, guys. I don't have enough balls to take the first period over. Yeah, I like that, Gregory. But I like the full game over and both teams to score. That's at plus 130 in the second period.
Vegas Golden Knights, I imagine their team total at Pinnacle will be minus 107 on either side at 2.5 because it's minus 120 at Bet365. Are you surprised that Vegas's team total at 2.5 is so low?
So low. Yeah, that's their third line defense here, Jim. Nemeth and Timmins. That's going to be I don't know if they're going to rely on him too much. They had 17 minutes of ice between Taves and Makar in that second game. 17 minutes. That was a lot. I think the next closest was 8 or 9. So I don't know. It just seems like I don't know if they're going to break down necessarily Colorado, but I think the floodgates were opened a little bit. So yeah, I am surprised by that's minus 107. As you guys know, Vegas played really good at home since April 1st. They're 7-2-1, 3.2 goals for, and only 2 goals against for Vegas at home. So they're much better defensively. This is in the regular season, but they're much better defensively at home. They score more goals at home as well. And their penalty kill in the regular season was 87% at home. So hopefully you would think it would regress a little bit back to the 87 compared to the 77 in the playoffs. But overall, guys, yeah, I like the overs. I lean towards a Vegas team total over. I'm going to think more about that one. But both teams to score in the second. Light the lamp. Let's go.
Extremely exciting games here. We have our official picks from Mr. Gogster in. At this point, and this is an issue I have every year when my future starts moving forward, and it's not a huge future. I'm acting like it's like a 10K casher. It's 3,500, and
that's a pretty penny.
It'll help, but it just feels like it's just messing me up here because I didn't bet Colorado on the first 2 games, and I don't think I'm going to do it here. If Vegas lets this go, they're in huge trouble. Clearly, it's very simple to say the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights are going to play their best game. The question is whether that is enough to beat these 2 road teams, the Montreal Canadiens and the Colorado Avalanche. And at this point, I'm not sure. If Vegas plays their best game, we already saw what they did in the second period, in the third period, especially against the Avalanche. Mm-hmm. They were taking the play to them and 3 posts in the third period. Vegas plays their best game, they'll win game 3. It wouldn't be shocking to have Vegas bring the series back to Colorado, tied at 2. It wouldn't be. I wouldn't be shocked.
No, either would I. And I just like you're saying. I think if they're going to get their best effort here from both teams, more so Colorado, Vegas. Vegas is leaning towards pretty much healthy. You just have Janmark still out. I can't. How is there not going to be goals here, Jimmy? In Colorado, Vegas. I don't see how. And even I dove deeper with these rebounds. That's not a good sign. 2.54 is definitely above average for rebounds from Grubauer. That was a lot of minutes too from your first line from Taves and Makar. Not saying they can't do it, but I like to see a balanced time on ice being distributed from your defense. They, like you said, saw Nishkinen, Burakovsky, Kemper, Donskoy. They're deep. Both of these teams can score. Third, 1, 2, 3. If anything, guys, Vegas is. I don't really like this line, Jim. From what I'm seeing, Sakura, Roy, and Tuck. Tuck's great, but Sakura. He's more of he came up from the AHL. He's got a lot to show still. I don't think he's going to – it's a bit of a tough spot for him. Then you got Carrier Brown and Kolsar. You're going to get, what's his name, Reeves back for the next game. So what do you think? I would lean to a little more maybe unders if you get Reeves back. But I still think this is going to be over, guys. I have a really tough time seeing this being an under game. Colorado's going to still bring it to them. Fleury's playing really great, especially at home, but this Colorado team is the best Colorado playoff team I've seen, Jim, since, I don't know, Pittsburgh, back when they won the Cup, like when, the Pittsburgh days with Letang and Malkin and company there. That's, this team's unbelievable. And McKinnon's the Crosby that they have. So I can't see anything but overs here.
Great breakdown from our guy, Mr. Gokster, who can be seen every show here Tuesday through Friday on Betting with the Bag.
You're here, guys.
Great stuff, Mr. Gokster.
PSR, baby, Pub Sports Radio.
Where can our guys find you on Twitter?
So, yeah, guys, check me out on Twitter. You know where it is now, Ego47 on Twitter. I usually post out all my NHL picks. Every time I'll always have my recaps. So you guys, if you're wondering what we're on for today, we'll have that. Also, I'll have recaps from previous days, MLB picks. I do KBO, PGA as well. Horses tomorrow, which day? Friday? Yeah, tomorrow with Jimmy and the crew. So, yeah, guys, we'll be back on. You'll see me on there. We'll have hopefully some fun times tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
I love it. Stick around to let you guys out of here. But yes, tomorrow, Belmont Stakes, baby. Belmont Stakes. Ooh, yeah. It's going to be fun. I got the Kraken ready, and it's going to be, it's my favorite thing to do in the world is hammer the horses with all the guys. So join us tomorrow, 11:20 a.m. Eastern, and go over right now to Babano and CMAC MLB show. Pops off in 3 minutes. Pour yourself a coffee, make yourself a sandwich, and go over there and get paid. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. We have no show without these great guys in the chat. North Ender, Glenn Elliott Mann, Jacksonville Zoe, Ron Walsek, Slats 45, The Puzzler, Crash 99, Richie Rich, Gerald Jones, Poker Addicted 79, Ron Crawford. Great to see Ron Crawford back in action. Willie Vegas, Sharpie, Jason Albert, all you guys, Goiper, Johnny K, Dennis Garcia, Glenn Elliott Mann, DC, Turnsy. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Matty Ice. There's MMA Locker Room. Our guy Mills on New Vegas Golden Knights. And let's start another streak in MLB right now. Great work from our man, Mr. Gokster. Can you let us out of here, my friend?
As always, guys, best luck with your action and go after it. Get those bookies. Leche, Elos, bookmakers, get that cash. Let's go.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.